Hello everyone! I'm excited to welcome you to a video about the July challenges in Hangar, aka Adam Ondra's playground. In this video, you'll see my attempt to climb the July route challenges, where I struggled, where I kept pushing, how far I got, and where I finally managed to get some wins, both small and big. So, what exactly are these challenges? There are 30 problems, numbered from 1, easiest, to 30, hardest. If you remember my first video from the Hangar Challenger competition, this is something similar, but instead of being limited to just a few hours, you have the whole month to compete and try to send the routes. The competitors are divided into 3 levels: hobby, sport, and elite. And if you become the best climber in your category, you can win a free entry to the gym and a magnesium cube. First, a little spoiler warning. If you are currently climbing at Hangar and don't want the beta route solutions spoiled, you might want to watch this video after you've tried the routes yourself. On the other hand, if you are looking for advice or want to get an idea of how to climb a specific route, may this video help you. Let's get into it and see how it went. For the first few challenges, there's not much to say. They are pretty straightforward, with big holds, making them suitable even for complete beginners or as warm-ups. Just like I did with the Hangar Challenger, I'm going to show you the routes in numerical order, not in the order I actually climbed them. I visited Hangar a few times throughout the month, as you might notice from how my clothes change in the video. So no, I definitely didn't climb them all in one session. That would be way harder and honestly not possible for me right now. But that's the beauty of these challenges. You get a whole month to keep trying. The fourth challenge is on a slight overhang, but it's very short, so it's a great spot to practice a bit. With the fifth challenge, the difficulty starts to pick up. I had to use a bit of balancing to get through it. Like I mentioned in the previous videos, I'm a huge fan of easy but fun climbs, and I don't think lower grades have to be boring. I was filming my first attempt on the 6th route alone, so I accidentally cut off the lower part of the climb. Here's my second try, this time filmed by a friend. Also, I love the lighting in this one. It was shot in the evening and the footage from the session turned out really nicely. Challenge number 7 is another good example of an easier route with some nice balance-focused movement. Perfect for training stability. You are on bigger holds and not too high up, so it feels safe. I was reaching for the next hold, but the big purple holds were a bit in the way. Something that showed up on several other routes too. Still, in this case, it actually worked because it made sense and added some difficulty to the balancing. Challenge number 8 was a bit trickier. I had to really shift my weight and engage my whole body more. I found the 9th challenge easier than the 8th, but that might be just my personal impression. Sometimes the routes aren't set strictly in order of difficulty. As we move to the challenge number 10, the level of difficulty begins to rise once more. I've noticed that when a route has a plus in its grade, it can sometimes feel just as hard or even harder than the next full grade. In this case, it definitely felt tougher than a 6A, though probably not quite a 6B. So 6A plus seems pretty accurate. The hold just before the top was hard for a 6A. I ended up using my flexibility to press my right leg onto the hold for support. After that, it turned into a bit of trust move. You had to believe the final hold would be better. It was. Number 11 was overhang again, And this one was trickier and longer, but still doable even for less advanced climbers. Definitely bumpy, but manageable with good footwork and pacing. I used to hate top outs, where I had to reach up and go for it. I still hate them, but now I just do them anyway. At this point, I got a bit bored while editing. I transformed into Janja Garnbret and jumped straight onto the wall from the floor. I spent some time on the route number 12. I felt so weak when I had to push myself up. It was during my period and I could tell I had the energy somewhere, I just couldn't access it. Especially my grip felt weaker than usual, like on the challenge number 15. There was another tricky part on this route. At first I wanted to just reach for the big hole, but eventually I accepted the risk and did this cute little dino instead. When I was climbing this route, I felt like I did everything wrong. Like there should be some easier way to do it. The top out had a very specific position. I flashed challenge number 13, but this was filmed on the second try, because this time I cut off the top part of the video for a change. The climb was quite strength dependent, but nothing too complicated otherwise. The holds were very comfortable and I tried to use my legs as much as possible to make it easier. Oh, look at me, thinking I would just jump up and then cowardly doing it all slow and cautious instead. Hello! As I mentioned before, I'm not a fan of those purple holes constantly getting in my way. There was this huge hole and it was now digging right into my belly. I held on tight. Falling was the last thing I wanted, especially with the top so close. When this one was done, I was glad I could finally climb down. Up until number 15, I managed to flash all the routes, and then, well, things got a bit complicated. I gave challenge number 15 a first try, and it didn't feel that hard. I honestly thought I could still flash it. The plan? Foot on the starting hold, then go straight for the big pocket once I was up. But then I tried again, and again, and again, and still nothing. I think definitely a big part of my failures came here from feeling weak. I just couldn't push upward. I tried this one in 2 separate sessions and it felt really hard. Then, in the 3rd session, I sent it on a first try. Partly it was definitely the first beta for me, and part of it that I felt really powerful that day, and I even climbed 16 and flashed 17. After that one tough move, everything started to flow. I still had to position myself well on the route, but that part felt easy. And most importantly, I really didn't want to fall at that point. Oh, and I even had to replicate the climb because someone stood in front of the camera and I'm always too shy to say that I'm filming. With challenge number 16, it was almost the same story as with number 15, except this time the issue was balance. I gave it several tries and I kept falling right at the start. And when I finally managed to get further, I just couldn't make it to the top. The perfect opportunity came after I finally sent number 15. I was full of energy and confidence, and suddenly it all just felt effortless. Luckily for me, the final part of the route was basically a freebie. Number 17 turned out to be the last flash of the set. You can watch me as I disappear. Just kidding, there's a better video. It had some crimps and demanded a bit of power, but compared to 15 and 16, it felt much more forgiving. On this route, I ended up crossing paths a bit with another climber, which added some adrenaline to the moment. Anyway, I nailed 17, that was good. So, what's coming up next? If you can count, you've probably guessed it's number 18. I sent it in one session. My original plan was to use both hands to grip, but I realized it was more comfortable for me to hold on with just one. After that, I had to be really careful with my feet. I didn't fully trust them, which is probably why I look so awkward in that section. Overall, it was a route in my zone of proximal development, so I really enjoyed it. But honestly, I don't want to climb it again. At the top, I was shaking like crazy, holding on with everything I had. If you are still with me, you must be crazy. I almost ended it here, both the video and the climbing challenges. But this was the last route I climbed, number 19. Again, lots of attempts and plenty of trying. On the first session, I couldn't even stand up here. After many tries, I still couldn't stand up, but I realized I could use a hold on my right side to gain some stability. I think it was meant just as foothold, but I didn't care. It was small but solid and it helped me tremendously. In the session where I climbed 15, 16 and flashed 17, I also managed to top out challenge 19. To be honest, it was my personal favorite. Maybe because I really wanted to send it and the moves felt so nice. I even practiced climbing the top part separately and nailing that gave me even more motivation. I was confident I could connect the parts, so I knew it was definitely possible. I can't express how happy I was when I finally did it. Unlike number 20, which I also tried but was too scared to commit, and honestly didn't see much hope of sending. So that's the end of this video. Thank you so much to everyone who watched. I would be extremely grateful for any interaction, likes, comments, subscriptions or feedback. This video took quite a bit of work, so it really means a lot to see it appreciated. Please drop a comment if you used any beta from the video or climb the routes differently. I would love to hear about it. So until the next video, happy climbing!